On the Tromsø coast in Norway, two polar bears are wandering on the thick ice, surrounded by a lot of plastic waste. Their search for food begins as the sun rises, casting a pink glow on the icy horizon. The mother bear has an old scar on her shoulder, the mark of a previous collision with a fishing net. The cub, whose fur is still a bit pale yellow, timidly follows her mother, not leaving her for more than half a step. The ice is littered with plastic bottles, old nets, metal fragments and many other types of waste, posing countless dangers. The mother bear sniffs for the scent of seals, a precious food source in the harsh polar region. The cub meows softly, showing her hunger, hoping that her mother will soon find breakfast. Despite her exhaustion, the mother bear persists in following the fragile trail, wading step by step through the thin ice. The trash is getting more and more scattered, forcing the mother bear to avoid this place and that. Suddenly, a piece of fishing net wrapped tightly around the mother bear's front leg, causing her to lose her balance and fall onto the ice. The cub panicked and scratched at the ice, trying to free her mother, but it only made things more tangled. The mother bear growled and struggled, but the net wrapped around her, creating a tighter bond. The deep cut from the sharp edge of the net into her flesh began to bleed, dyeing her white fur red. The cub yelped in pain and ran around her mother bear, frightened by the sight of blood. In the vast space, the mother bear's desperate cry for help rang out. The cold air rising from the sea combined with the strong wind made the mother bear's wound even more numb. Blood stains dripped onto the ice, signaling that the situation was getting worse. The mother bear bit off some of the surrounding trash, hoping to escape, but the fishing net still wrapped tightly around her like a deadly trap. Luckily, a fishing boat was sailing across the Tromsø Sea at that time. On the deck, Captain Bjorn held binoculars and saw the silhouettes of two bears struggling abnormally. He turned to the three sailors, Olaf, Gunnar and Kjær, ordered to slow down and move closer to investigate. The old ship turned the ice and approached where the mother bear lay. The deck smelled of fish and engine oil. Olaf shouted loudly, pointing at the blood stains, while Gunnar quickly ran to get ropes and new nets to support. Kjær stood on the edge of the ship carefully observing, ready to call for everyone to intervene if the bear became aggressive. The baby bear immediately retreated when the ship approached, clearly showing fear in front of the strangers. The mother bear still groaned and tried to pull her legs out of the nets, her eyes blankly looking up at the deck. Captain Bjorn ordered to lower the anchor temporarily, and at the same time asked everyone to prepare a rescue plan. Olaf and Gunnar pulled the rope down, gently going around the old nets so as not to hurt the mother bear more. The mother bear's growls gradually subsided as she noticed the sailors' slow, well-intentioned movements. The fishing net was torn and tangled, stuck to the wound on the mother bear's shoulder. Kjær carefully used a knife to cut each strand of the net, avoiding hitting the exposed flesh. The cub watched, occasionally whimpering anxiously, but did not dare to get too close because he was afraid of people. Finally, after a series of skillful operations, they removed most of the net from the mother bear's body. The wound was now clearly visible, blood was still flowing, staining the fur around it red. Seeing the serious wound, Bjorn decided to bring the mother bear aboard for immediate first aid. Unable to separate the cub, Olaf and Gunnar coaxed it together to drag it along with its mother. The crane on the deck was lowered, tying a new net around the mother bear, being careful not to squeeze the wound. Captain Bjorn gave the signal, and the two sailors operating the crane slowly lifted the mother bear. The mother bear groaned in pain but seemed to understand that this was the only way to be saved. The cub yelped and decided to risk following, afraid of being left alone. On the deck of the Kjær, a thick blanket was quickly spread out to lay the mother bear down. Blood spread on the rusty deck, causing the people around to feel sorry. Gunnar took warm water to gently wipe the bloody fur, while Olaf prepared bandages. The cub shivered and snuggled close to the mother bear, eyes blankly watching the human's actions. Bjorn took off his gloves and used his bare hands to check the depth of the cut, then sighed when he saw that it was quite serious. The mother bear writhed every time they touched the wound, but still tried to lie still. A little antiseptic was poured on, making the mother bear twitch with pain, swinging her front paws warily. Care spoke softly, as if to reassure the mother bear that she was safe. Finally, after the wound was cleaned, they covered the white bandage and secured it around the mother bear's shoulder. From the corner of the mother bear's mouth, a breath came out in the cold air, her pulse still weak. The curious cub came closer and licked the edge of the bandage, as if understanding that its mother was being helped. When the bandage was finished, Gunnar took some fresh fish that was left in the hold and brought it up to the cub. It sniffed and ate slowly while Bjorn coaxed the mother bear to drink some warm water. The growl had now become a weak sound, carrying a mixture of tiredness and gratitude. Olaf, the most skillful, continued to check the wound, making sure the bandage had not come loose. Captain Bjorn then discussed with everyone, deciding to change the route to return to the shore of Tromsø earlier. The mother bear needed to rest and recuperate, and the cubs could not wander on the ice filled with rubbish forever. The old ship slowly glided, the engine roaring softly, towards the Tromsø harbor hidden in the fog. On the deck, the mother and her cubs lay side by side, the mother's warmth helping the cubs to feel less scared. The sailors took turns keeping watch, occasionally giving the mother bear more water. The white bandage on the mother bear's shoulder was stained with a few bloodstains, but fortunately it had stopped bleeding. Care stood watching them, feeling a sense of responsibility for the polluted environment. Gunnar added more wood to the small stove on the deck, helping to reduce the cold air. After many hours of drifting, the ship finally saw the Tromsø anchorage appearing in the distance. Bjorn contacted the port to report the situation and asked for support to receive the mother and cubs. The crew breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that the injured mother bear still had a difficult time ahead. When the ship docked, the workers were already waiting, bringing in the ladder and preparing a safe space. The crane slowly lifted the mother bear and her cub onto the ice near the shore. Many curious people gathered around, but Olaf and Gunnar asked them to keep their distance to avoid scaring the bear. Care placed another blanket under the mother bear's feet, while Bjorn tenderly stroked it one last time. The cub timidly hid behind its mother's feet, still not recovering from the series of events. On the snowy shore of Tromsø, blood was scattered where the mother bear had just been placed. Captain Bjorn checked the bandages and found them still fine, telling everyone to find a veterinarian. The mother bear looked gratefully at the sailors, then gently rubbed her nose against the side of the ship. Olaf, Gunnar and Care watched, their hearts filled with emotion. Under the pale sunlight, the mother and cub slowly left the deck, looking for a place to rest. The sailors cleaned the deck together, wiping away the blood, all hoping that the mother bear would recover soon. The ship's whistle sounded to signal the next departure, but they knew they had just done a good deed. The cub turned its head to look back briefly as if to remember its benefactor. Then they sank into the endless whiteness of the ice, walking slowly, away from the dangerous piles of garbage. On the old ship, Bjorn, Olaf, Gunnar and Care quietly pondered about human responsibility towards nature. The Tromsø Sea is still vast with a lot of garbage, but they believe this story will spread awareness of environmental protection. They understand that only by working together to reduce pollution and save innocent creatures can we preserve the pristine white color of this icy land. Because today the mother and baby bears were saved, it was a miracle, but tomorrow how many more species will be trapped by garbage everywhere? The mother bear's eyes followed the ship as it moved away, lingering with a bit of nostalgia, like an unspoken thank you. It was a rare beautiful moment between humans and polar bears, engraved on the frigid Tromsø coast. The story of Bjorn, Olaf, Gunnar and Care and the mother and baby bears continues to be spread, to warn about the increasingly serious pollution situation. And then in everyone's heart, faith in kindness sprouts again, as strong as the vitality of the mother bear in the harsh ice land. Dear friends, thank you for taking the time to follow the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us.